I love listening to Electric TV radio. For undiluted, unadulterated, it's probably replicated but still not yet duplicated. It's sports only on Electric TV radio. I seriously love listening to it. Hello, everybody. What's up, people? My name is Timmy Dakulo, and you're listening to Electric TV radio. Stay tuned.
Mesdemoiselles, mesdames et messieurs, je vous dis bonsoir. Je m'appelle Fondateur et ce soir, je suis avec LBT sur LBT TV Radio.
LBT TV radio. Redefining broadcasting. Listen. LBT TV radio. We dare to lead. You are listening to LBT TV radio. This is radio like you never heard before. Elegbede TV Radio, the pathfinder for radio.
Hey, Uncle Chris, how are you doing? Let's get this show on the road. All right, good morning and welcome to this month's buffet on Elegbede TV Radio. My name is Indafi Matthew. So I know you love to call me the Elegbede One Sports. If you're happy this morning, I'm happy as well. I don't know why I'm happy. Yeah, I lost someone yesterday. I shouldn't be happy, right? But I'm just happy. I'm happy, like, you know, when people die and you see how, you know, people who don't care before all of a sudden kind of like form like they care, you just kind of laugh, okay? But on the show today, we're going to try as much as possible to inspire people. And at the very base of that conversation is a player that's just signed for a Premier League club. Yeah, and, you know, when I saw the story, I saw the story and I was like, okay, this is going to be the base of my conversation on the show today. It's going to be the crust or the core of my conversation on the show today, and it's the Mexican player. You know, sometimes we forget that footballers are actually humans, and they also deal with exactly the same things that we deal with. They also deal with the exact problems that we deal with. So there's a whole lot of other things to talk about on the show, but that just stay on my mind. And this is the headline: Edison Alvarez was rejected as a youth for being too small, but the Mexican has grown into a 6'2" defensive titan, and the stats show Western-bound midfielder shares many similarity with Declan Rice. And there are times in our lives where we get rejected, where we get turned down. I mean, I've got plenty of that story myself, and I'm sure everybody have it. That's not really the problem, because I think we all get all that, right? But how did you overcome your rejection? Whether in school, whether in workplace, whether, you know, it could be, you know, you've done everything to get that promotion, and then they just tell you, you know what, we're giving it to this guy. You don't deserve it now. Some people will just go into depression, lose it, and not even work, and then eventually lose the job. Some of that goes, okay, you can, no problem. I'm going to buckle up. I'm going to do it. Or you go for a trial or an audition or a screening, or what's that thing they do in movies now? Okay, it's audition too, right? Yeah, you go in and you think, okay, you get the part, and so sorry, you didn't make the cut, somebody else got it because of this reason. That is if they are even nice enough to explain all those reasons to you. They say, sorry, you didn't get it. Or you go for the job interview and they just tell you, well, sorry, we'll get back to you, and they never did, right? And the company moved on. Or the economy is crunching and checks are not coming in as usual, and there are like 30 people in the company, and the company decide they're going to let 10 people or 15 people go, and your name happens to be on the list. You know how that thing is, like, you start asking yourself, so all these people where they keep, so they better pass me, right? How did you manage to handle it? How did you deal with such situation? That's what I want us to talk about today, while we're dealing with every other football talking point, whatever the football talking point would be. While we're dealing with all of that, I just want us to also go back and look at such situations that have reared its head, that have put us in very difficult situation, but talk about how you all handled it and become better. Use your stories to inspire someone, and it doesn't necessarily have to be sports related. So if you're there, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. If you're there, I'm here, I'm ready. Let's get the show on the road. Once again, it is the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. My name is Indafe Matthew. You love to call me the Elegbete on the Sport. I'm sure we're going to have a very good show. I'm always, when it comes to my show, I'm always very, very optimistic, filled with energy, believing, it's going to be a great show. I'm never coming to a show thinking, oh, well, this show's not going to be good. I think I learned the toughest way to always believe that my show is going to be great, and it's never turned that bad. I don't regret, having that attitude or that approach to my shows. Okay, well, let's do the stories, and then we'll look at the transfer rumors and all the G's. Bayern Munich are really, dealing with rejection, but they do not know how to give up. Bayern Munich are not giving up for anything. The more they are rejected, the more they are piling up, and they are coming back with all that they've got, everything in them. It's how do they sing that song again? I give you everything I've got, all of me. It's John Legend's. It's all of me. They started with 65 million, and then 75 million, and then they got to 80 million, and 82 plus add-on, and then 85. Levy, knowing fully well that Harry Kane have 1 year left on his contract, is still holding on seriously and saying, no, he ain't going nowhere. We're not going to let him go. He's going to be with us. Well, I thought that the last time Harry came with 85 million and it was rejected because Spurs are saying, yeah, we don't want to sell him. 1 year remaining is 29. He's going to turn 30 this year. If you want him that bad, if you really want him, you really, really want it, if you want to be my lover, if you really, really want it, tell me what you want if you really, really want, okay? And you have to pay 130 million pounds. And Bayern is saying, you know what? We have made math, we have said all the things that we want to say, that this guy is going to play for us. We're coming back. They were rejected, but they didn't leave the table. They just turned the seat like, okay, so this is the table of discussion. They just turned the seat like this. And now they're turning back. They're turning on their own. And they're coming back, and they are willing to up the offer again by another 10 million pounds to say, we're willing to give you 95 million. Jesus, Pogri, 95 million. Slave trade. They are auctioning human beings. They are selling human beings. And they say slavery have ended. It has not. This one is just paid slavery, because going to the field, entertain. It reminds me of the story of the Roman Colosseum, the Roman Empire. When the people get restive, they set up the Colosseum, get them, and set humans against humans or humans against beasts, whatever the case may be. They get entertained. The empire always win. That's where they talk in gambling. They say the house always win. That's where it comes from. The mind control people's emotion and sentiment. And I think that football is, for me, and I'm sorry, but I'll say it. Football to me reminds me of the Colosseum, the Roman Empire era, because see, no matter how bad the global economy is, you still hear all these big transfer. Where's the money coming from? And somebody is definitely doing money laundering. Okay, somebody is definitely, you can convince me otherwise. Somebody is definitely doing money laundering. Sometimes I even think that these monies are not really being paid in cash. They're just being numbers thrown across on newspapers, and then the way the American money system is. You don't have money, you don't have cash, but there's money. You want to buy a house, all you need to have good credit score, put a little bit of down payment, and then house goes to you, title deed comes to you. All those nonsense that they do in the monetary market. Like, okay, for instance, you hear that a bank, no bank have all those money that they claim that they have. They just have digits. Okay, and I think that sometimes that's how my head works. Like, okay, that's what they're doing. I don't know. But we're going to talk about all of that. And there've been a lot of rejection in this transfer window. You put in the offer, it's rejected. Moise Caicedo, rejection of bid. Skamaka is now rejecting West Ham and wants to go to City somewhere. Says that the ball that Moyes' ball, David Moyes' ball does not suit his style. So Paqueta, Skamaka has already gone. Paqueta says this style of Moyes does not suit his ball, so he wants to go and play Pep ball, and he's hoping that Pep will come and rescue him to replace Gundogan. And then there's a whole lot, but let's do the news and then talk about transfer. While in the comment section, please tell me when you've experienced rejection, or tell us when you experience rejection, how you handle it. Your story might just inspire somebody to learn how to handle rejection, because some people are really dealing with rejection and they don't know how. Man, I mean, my life is a catalog of rejection. First off, my mom rejected me, like 3 months old baby, me and my twin brother, she abandoned us like that. Next time I saw her, I was 5, or it was a day before my 5th birthday. And then she went on to get married and told her husband that she had a set of twins, but they're dead. Aha. So that's kind of like the highest level of rejection, right? And then, rejection, my stepdad, my uncle, going to school, they said my hand could not touch my ears, so I was rejected. But good, thanks to Eileen Onokiti, like, okay, come sit in my class. So I didn't do primary 1. I sat in a class in primary 2. I was just going there every day. She lives next to us. If you live in Warri, you understand. Onokiti, the Onokiti family is a very big family. And Liz Kitchen later became Liz Kitchen in Generator. Mommy Ife and Idiri and Ife. Those are the 2 children. And she kept bringing me to her class like I was her son, right? She kept bringing me to her class. Before you know it, they sew uniform for me, and I became a student. Very big Lagbo Nika. I would never forget. Nika that was at my ankle length. Very big Lagbo Nika, elastic on the waist. I look like all those Bini chiefs that wear Buluku, and green and white. Because primary school was using green and white at the time. We had not changed to pink and wine. That's just the way it worked. Afternoon school, and eventually the rest, as they say, is history. And there's a whole lot. I was rejected on the 29th of July, 2004, when I went for audition in Brilla FM. Eventually I came back on a volunteer basis. And the rest is to say, the greatest football analyst that ever lived. Okay, so there's a whole lot of people who have rejection story. Please share yours and how you overcame them. And then we'll see, as they sing in church, by and by, we will overcome. Okay, let's start with the news. Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher have named their Premier League top 6 teams in order. As ex-Man United, both of them have disagreement anyway on who they think will win the Premier League title, as they name their top 6 for the season. Manchester City go into the new campaign looking for a 4th consecutive league title. I beat my chest here to say they will not win a 4th. The powers that be, the empire, will not allow them to win the 4th. You see all this added time magic that they're doing, Man City will feel it. And then we go a 3rd pass. So Toxin and me talk out. Okay, they're going into the campaign looking for their 4th consecutive league title after pipping Arsenal to the trophy by just 5 points last term. Mikel Arteta's side have strengthened heavily this summer with the additions of Declan Rice, Havertz, Jurrien Timber, who I consider to be the best signing that Arteta made, as they look to go on one better and end a 20-year wait since they last lifted the Premier League title. 20 years, it don't reach just now. Gary Neville says he's worried whether Man United new 72 million signing Rasmus Hojlund can handle the pressure at Old Trafford, and hopes the club are still actioning a plan to land Harry Kane this summer. I don't know. Hojlund joined from Serie A side Atalanta after only 1 season in the first team, in which he found the net just 9 times in 32 league outings. As a result, Neville reckons he could find the transition difficult. Jamie Carragher claims Phil Foden is being stopped from reaching his potential at Man City, as he fumes at Pep Guardiola for not playing the England star more often. Shut up. Go get a coaching badge and try and coach. Jamie Carragher has questioned whether Pep Guardiola is preventing Phil Foden from reaching his potential at Manchester City after the England international failed to start in the Community Shield. Just common Community Shield? Okay, sorry, Arsenal fans are not going to be happy with me for calling it common, but it's common anyway. What is the cost of the Community Shield for you Arsenal fans? 1 out of the last 9 winners of the Community Shield have gone on to win the title. The other ones have faltered. Some have even gone on relegation, like Leicester. Waka Waka, after all the shakara, after all the whole drama, the razzmatazz, the paparazzi, I'm going. Now has decided, agreed to stay at Manchester City and will sign a new 12-month contract extension despite strong interest from Bayern Munich. Bayern are gathering all their money to pay for Harry Kane. England international Kyle Walker has agreed to continue at Manchester City for the upcoming season, despite already verbally agreeing to move to join Bayern, the Bundesliga giant. But that's not going to happen. West Ham are working to complete a £32 million deal for Southampton captain James Ward-Prowse after talks took place on Tuesday afternoon, which is yesterday. The Hammers have been pursuing the Centre with the Championship side, rejecting numerous advances from David Moyes' side so far during the summer transfer window. Another story of rejection about to turn into a song of victory, like Harry Kane sang during the 2010 FIFA World Cup in South Africa, the land of the Madiba. Right? Liverpool target Romeo Lavia is left out of Southampton's matchday squad for the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup, or whatever you call it, clash with Gillingham, as Red continues to pursue a deal for the Saint midfielder. Now, if you're a betting person, this is the time for you to open your ear. If you have all your life savings, your insurance money, you got to put it on this bet, on this match, that it's going to end over 3.5. But to be on the safe side, just do over 2.5. It's a guarantee. And Southampton would also win in this one. Whatever it is, so you can do a combo, whatever your betting platform allows you, a combo of Southampton to win and over 2.5. The odds will be nice. Don't say I didn't give you game today. Southampton midfielder Romilava has been left out of Russell Martin's matchday squad for Tuesday's EFL Cup clash against Gillingham, prompting the hope. Okay. Am I making a mistake here? Okay, sorry. The deal with Liverpool could go close. Virgil van Dijk, the worst player to ever win a European Footballer of the Year. Yeah, I don't know how they gave him, but I'm still pissed off. Virgil van Dijk says he understands Liverpool fans' concern over their lack of transfer activities. But wait a minute, Liverpool fans. Is it really true that there is a lack of transfer activities? I thought that you guys signed Zoboslai, you guys signed McAllister, you guys have the best strike force in the Premier League. Where do you really want? Okay, because Jordan Henderson, who's already a pensioner, a retired player, left, or Fabinho left. Isn't that why you want to go get Lavia? What the heck is wrong with you guys? Well, he says he understands the lack of transfer activities with your clubs crashing his head and sunning his teeth. Okay, over a midfield conundrum and defensive frailties ahead of the Premier League star. Newly appointed captain of Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk, says he understands why some supporters may have doubted with Liverpool experience figures over the summer and bringing in just 2 players. Okay, that's what you think, but I think full house. That's my thought anyway. Well, Brentford bid 26 million for Fiorentina and Argentine striker Nico Gonzalez and remain in the hunt for Nottingham Forest forward Brennan Johnson, despite Tottenham interest. Okay, we should see where it goes. Brentford have made a 26 million pounds offer for Fiorentina, for striker Nico Gonzalez. The Bees, as they are fondly called, which is their moniker or their nickname or their tag name or whatever you call them, remain in contention for Brennan Johnson. But Tottenham are also considered to be favourite to sign. So who would he reject and where would he jump to? Crystal Palace turned to relegated pair Alex McCarthy and Daniel Iverson to find a new backup goalkeeper, as Vicente Guaita have refused to play. I'm not going to play. I'm leaving. I have gone to the mountain, and on the mountaintop, the Lord has spoken to me that I should not be playing for Wolves anymore. Okay, don't worry. We're doing a Martin tactic there. Well, Palace are scratching and searching and scrubbing and unturning every stone for reinforcement in the goalkeeping department after Goita 36 refused to play in a preseason game as he tries to force a return to former club Getafe. Okay, let's see how it goes. Player power is very, very powerful. Edison Alvarez, the man who's brought the topic of today, okay, was rejected as a youth for being too small. But the Mexican, all of a sudden, have grown 6'2", and it's become a defensive marshal, taller than even Martinez for Manchester United, and is now a rock of Gibraltar, reliable, dependable defender that is going to West Ham. And they say they share some similarity. What's it called? Defensive player, sorry. They share the same similarity with Declan Rice, who's gone to Arsenal. Arsenal fans are wondering if £105 million was worth it for him. Well, Edison Alvarez is said to be announced as West Ham first signing of the summer. The 25-year-old midfielder flies into London to finalize the move. Remember, I told you guys last week that don't worry, West Ham will sign player. Yes, they've not signed anyone, but it's about to happen, and it's coming into London to finalize the move. The agreed fee with Ajax is £32 million plus £3 million of add-on. That makes it £35 million, alongside wages of £100,000 per week, and the deal will be confirmed following his medical. Oh, lo, 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 lo. Manchester United, another one that seemed like it was rejected at some point, but is bounced back. I will be back, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Manchester United are set for talks with Aaron, the Anambra boy, Uwa Mbisaka, over a new contract after right back. The right back turned his Old Trafford career around under Eric Ten Hag. Okay, Manchester United will open formal talks with the fullback Aaron Wan-Bissaka over a new contract once the current transfer window closes, as the Red Devil look to extend his stay. It's happening. It's coming alive. Well, let's go to Park the Princess and see some men were flying past, and we looked down and we saw some men on crane. And guess what they are doing? They are scrubbing everything that resembles Kylian Mbappe. So Kylian Mbappe is no longer a Frenchman. Well, as African countries are shutting at French people are also looking for ways to shut at African people. Yeah. I've never liked France, I've never liked France as a country, so it's not a big deal. Paris Saint-Germain have stepped up their feud with Kylian Mbappe after removing a poster featuring the star and refusing to sell his shirt in the club shop. Now, on this front of removing the banner, it is okay. Refusing to sell his shirt. Oh boy, now they lose. Oh, yes, I agree that if you sell his shirt, you are supposed to give him certain percentage, blah, 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 because of his image royalties and all that. But think about it for a minute. You've invested money. Whether you sell his shirt or you don't sell his shirt, you're still paying money. And you just triggered 60 million payment to him. I think in my elementary business sense, you should sell the shirt, make some money, because the boy have refused to take the offer to Saudi Arabia and make you make £255 million. They think it don't make sense if you don't sell the shirt for the shop. I don't know about the poster on. You can put new picture there. Well, that's what I think anyway. Well. They've refused to sell his shirt in the club shop. According to report, the 24-year-old striker is in a standoff. I no go agree with Daya with the French champions over his failure to sign a contract extension at the club. Mbappe's deal expires at the end of the forthcoming campaign, and officials who believe he has agreed a deal with Real Madrid starting in 2024 are keen to pick up a transfer fee for their £250 million asset before he can work out for nothing. My brother, he go work out for nothing. There is absolutely nothing you or anybody can do about it. So, my brother, Mbok, forgot about it all. Mbok, that's a Khalifi, forgot about it. This one ain't working. Okay? Let me just tell you in the voice of Monkas. Sentere do barike, intro bokakasa, whatever they do, it's not working. This Cameroonian Peking is stubborn, past David for Bible. Hey, Wonyembe Mitana is stubborn. Well, I said massive shout out to Aaron Turego for helping to keep the lights and the internet on. Hey, Nasiri Orafe, how you doing? Massive shout out to Aaron Turego for keeping us going. I appreciate that. Your support is massive. We really appreciate it. It's not easy. What this Balablo has turned us into, it's crazy. I mean, I wake up, I go to buy fuel, 50,000 naira now can no longer buy can no longer buy 4 gallons of 25-liter fuel. I used to buy like 10 gallons, and then there's still leftover, especially now that there's no light. Jesus Christ. 17,500 for 125-liter. I'm hemorrhaging, I'm bleeding in my anus, like the woman with the issue of blood. Like, it's crazy. Especially when the light is going on and producer is not doing anything. I'm just a very angry, useless, angry man. That's what I am right now. But God will see us through, survive. But everybody who's been supporting this project, God bless you. Thank you very much. And Arotorigo, you're one new supporter to the project. God bless you. Now let's go to the speculation. I'm coming. I ask you guys to share your story of rejection. Everybody's forming like they've never been rejected. What's happening now? Why are they form like say all in our life now? Ice cream machine for bringing a comment. What's that? Am I the only person that had to deal with rejection all my life? What's wrong with you people? Don't make me feel depressed this morning or lonely. I'm not alone in this matter. Well, Manchester City are interested in West Ham and Brazil midfielder Lucas Paqueta, 25, but the Hammers are reluctant to say they will sell eventually. Pep Guardiola's side have made an opening £70 million bid for Paqueta, which West Ham has said to reject. Okay, this is the season of rejection. Every midfielder now should now be sold at, say, 105 million. Let's see what it costs. Okay, let's see. Bayern Munich wants to submit a new offer of 110 million euros, which is 94.6 million pounds, including add-ons for Tottenham and England striker Harry Kane. Bayern really want this guy. So there are no young strikers again. Can't you go buy Osimhen? There are no young strikers again that can give you go. Is Harry Kane? I remember when I want to sign Sadio Mane, I said it and I beat my chest. I said this deal is not going to work. This deal will not work because Sadio Mane is a one-dimensional player. He works well at Liverpool because of how Liverpool play. But again, Liverpool have overworked him. Some Liverpool fans said I was hating. There's nothing they didn't say to me. Now he's in Saudi Arabia. The deal did not work. I'm not saying Harry Kane is not going to work because Harry Kane, the way he plays, actually is built for a team like Bayern. But I'm going to say this up front. Harry Kane is like Frank Lampard. He's a mommy's boy. He's a sissy, right? Those kind of players might struggle in a place, like he has speech problem. He might struggle because English people also don't like to learn other people's language. They have this God complex or superiority complex that makes them feel like, they don't need to learn anybody's language. People should learn English. They want to communicate with them. And again, I agree that in Germany, almost every Germans speak English as their secondary language. But walk into that dressing room where you no longer have the powers that you have, the dominance that you have, the environment where you are in control. People are saying that I should not be saying this thing, that is my mouth that is saying it, that is causing the problem. So let's pretend like I didn't say anything. But I am tempted to say something. I am tempted. Tempting to touch. Hey, I need the woman that I need it too much. Let's go. This is not time to play. This is Wednesday. I'm supposed to be talking well so that I go to my class and teach my student well. I don't know what's happening to me today. What's on my head? For my wife will listen to this and think that I'm rejoicing that her mother died. She already told me that I don't have emotion. I'm emotionless. But how would somebody like me, raised the way I was raised, have emotion? Who put her? I don't have emotion. I grew up when all of you were using emotion paints to paint your house. We were using carbad to paint our house. Carbad. You know what carbad is? Some of you don't even know what carbad is. Carbad is that thing that what's that panel used to wet motors, used to wet iron. They put in one iron like this. They put carbad inside. They used to shoot the original banger. Boom. And had the white, the residue, the leftover. We'll take it, we'll put it in water. Miss. This is to paint our house inside and outside. If you lean on it, if you forget, if you lean on it, you take a white tattoo with your body. Why would I have emotion? That kind of person is not supposed to have emotion. Yeah, so don't blame me that I don't have emotion. I'm emotionless. Okay. The remaining emotion on my body is what I use in movement, motion. But my wife said I don't have emotion. I don't have human feelings. And I don't donate blood, pass out. I don't have human feelings. And my blood did for many people body. And she know they donate blood. And not say she get tattoo. But I mean not get emotion. They said that well done. Right now you're crying, so there's nothing to say. Well, let's go further on the conversation. However, Bayern and Spurs still remain apart in valuation of Kane following fresh talk with the 30-year-old leaning towards staying at the Premier League club. Okay, if Kane does leave Tottenham, the club will pursue a move for Nigerian forward Gift Orban, 21-year-old, in addition to another centre-back and midfielder. No wonder they're looking for plenty of money. Not London rivals Arsenal and Tottenham are ready to battle it out for Aston Villa's 25-year-old Brazilian midfielder Douglas Luiz. Let's see who win this one. We're supposed to be richer than them, but I think that Arsenal should. Douglas Luiz is a good player. I'm not going to shit on him right now, but I think that there are too many Brazilians in the Arsenal team. Arsenal should try and go get the Colombian. They say if you want to shop frog, shop big one. So we made up our mind to spend big money. Let's just scatter the market and go for the title. I don't think that Man City will win the title. So let's go for the title. And in my own talk, I think that if you go get Moise Caicedo, that midfield is locked. And then get Mohamed Kudus, and then try and get another striker into the team. 3 players are needed, and Arsenal will be champions. Defense is okay. Goalkeeping position, fantastic. Yes. For once, we have 2 quality goalkeepers. Come on, not only Chelsea and the rest, they get 2 quality goalkeepers. Let's do this shit, okay? And then the defense is good. The midfield is not complete yet, but it's good. The attack, too much children in the attack. Too much children. Inexperienced children in the attack. But goals will come from everywhere. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so let's move further. Arsenal have reached an agreement with Brentford to sign 27-year-old Spain goalkeeper David Raya for close to 30 million. That's according to Fabrizio Romano, so you can take it in the back. Saudi Arabia said Halila, the club that Junior Diego played for before, want to sign Paris Saint-Germain and Brazil forward Neymar and plan to meet with the 31-year-old father. Neymar would willingly, who is willing to leave PSG for a club in Saudi Arabia, provided they let him spend his season on loan at Barcelona. See condition. See condition. It's going to be a powerful player. As I was in him, and that'd be better player. Shut up your mouth, especially Africans. Africa cannot name 5 players in the history of African football. 5 that is better than Neymar. 5. Of all the players that have played football in Africa, Africa cannot name 5. Somebody in Africa has seen them as not good player. He did not fulfill his potential. He did not reach the maximum height of his career. Shut up! Come on, my friends. Everything are considerable for England defender Harry Calamity Maguire, who's 30 years in club. Okay, now Crystal Palace are closing in on Chelsea and England left back Lewis Hall, 18-year-old. Get out. Manchester United are interested in 23-year-old French centre-back John Claire Todibo, the Czech an African player, from Nice as a replacement for Maguire. Manchester United also intend to open formal contract talks with the English defender, like I said before, Aaron the Anambra boy, Wan-Bissaka, 25 years of age, after the current transfer window closes. England right back Kyle Walker, 33, have decided to say, you know what, I'm making a U-turn. I'm leaving, no more. On a jet plane, no more. I'm staying here. I'm staying here. This is where I live and die. These streets are our home, okay? Real Society want to take 26-year-old Arsenal and Scotland defender Kieran Tierney on loan, but Arsenal said, no, we don't want to loan him. We want to sell him. If your boyfriend, Naga, let him go, that's what they're singing. We don't loan nobody here. We want to sell. But right now, this shop is open for sale. This is not a loan shop. It's not a pawn shop. This is a sales shop. So come and buy and take it away. Okay. Barcelona have added a €1 billion release clause to the contract of 16-year-old German midfielder Noah Davies. What is wrong with you? What is strong in you, Barcelona? You say Saudi Arabia is thinking coming to buy 16-year-old player? No, Saudi Arabia will not do that. In Saudi Arabia, Abibi will buy old men. experienced old men. We don't want 16-year-old boys that will come and sleep with our daughters and come and mislead them and take our daughters away. We don't do that. We bring old men that know the consequence of going to the other room. Okay, we don't want the 16-year-old people that will come, the people that will come and try to take our teenage daughter. No, like Justin Bieber. We don't sign 16-year-old people. We sign older people who know consequences of doing wrong things. Okay? And the 16-year-old 1 billion is child labor, it's child slavery and child labor. But it's because it's Europe that do it. It's no problem at all. And maybe let's leave it like that. Chelsea, Italy under 21 midfielder Cesar Casaida, who is 20, is wanted on loan by relegated Leicester and Genoa. Just because Alberto Gilardino is the coach and my friend works for, okay, my friend Daniele works there, so I just wanted to go to Genoa. Not like I know the player, I don't know him. Okay, Netherlands forward Wangers 31 just came to Man United, Rigmaru, collect money and go. Okay, will join Wolfsburg on a season-long loan from Burnley. That's also loan you did go. Leeds have agreed a deal to take Tottenham and Wolves centre back Joe Rondon, 25, on a season-long loan. Okay, that's all the matter. Table is the devil's trident for Marcus Rashford. That's what they call him. Well, let's look at what you guys have to say. I asked the question: when is it that you went through rejection, and how did you deal with it? Let's start with Instagram. People are Instagramming, tweeting, Facebooking. As a bank, but don't just go quiet like this. Wow, I say the dispensation controversy. Grandma not called the pay again. There was a time when grandma did pay or buy more, and nobody wanted to interview. All them channels that time they were looking for YouTube numbers. The economy don't hard now. I just say they would say they want to interview a buyer, but your mama will say, if you call him, I sack you. What is wrong with you? You know how much we buy for and diesel. You can pay your salary. You want to interview a buyer, but try it again. Try it. Hey, Mr. Sugar One, he said Liverpool needs a defensive midfielder and maybe another defender. There's no DM in Liverpool right now. No, they want to attack. It's Gegen pressing. The demons are here to attack. Liverpool this season have told me they want to apply the demon formation. Demon formation. Just go and attack. Fire. The mountain of fire formation. Fire. We're not defensive. We don't defend. The children of destruction do not defend. They just go to destroy. They are ISIS. They destroy. The thief is what is here to steal and to destroy. That's Liverpool formation. And so they don't need a defender. They don't even need goalkeeper this time around. They would attack the attacker, attack the devourer, and destroy them. But Zebra Swing of Renault, I need your opinion on David Raya move to Arsenal. Great move. How you measure him? All of them, they measure Raya with Aaron Ramsdale. Measure him with your outgoing goalkeeper, Matona. He's 10 times better than Matona. Again, his ball distribution is better than even Aaron Ramsdale. And again, if you look at Aaron Ramsdale, the first season he came when Leno was still on the bench, he was top notch. Last season, Aaron Ramsdale was average. Yeah. And let's be very honest. If Aaron Ramsdale is injured in the middle of the season and it's Turner that wants to come in, his greatest attribute is that he saves penalty. Come on. They don't do shootouts in the league. So let's move on. I think Raya is good. Mr. Sugar Elegote, I'm not you. In bracket, I'm not you can do this because of your deal with Bayern Munich. I don't understand. What really happened between Bayern and Sadio Mane? What's the story like after the feud between him and Sané? He not deliver on the field. If he was delivering on the field, they would overlook the field. He wasn't delivering on the field. He wasn't playing well. He didn't fit the system. Wasn't good enough. Story, end of story. And they have to cut their losses. They saw opportunity to sell him and make money. They did. He was also the highest earner in the team. Why would he be earning that much and not delivering on the field? So it was a simple decision. It was a very easy decision. Why would I not be able to do it? My deal with Bayern does not mean I cannot give my opinion. What's that? Did I not interview Mario Leo? Mario Leo also have a deal with Bayern. Did he not state his mind. Have you forgotten? So what's the deal? Down to 2310, he said, now remember Nokia 2310? It just clicked in my head now that this guy remind me of Nokia 2310. We they even use carbide do banger back in the day. Yes, now as the best banger like that. But that doesn't cut people anywhere. Big Bonvita cup, he put the brick, the block of the rock of carbide inside the tomato cup or milk cup. Come put big Bonvita cup, come put hole, put plantain leaf, everything, shook out with broom like this. Come cover it with your hand. Come hold fire. If you don't do and wear that thing can cut your head. See me, I have one scar on my head here. It is scar. It's carbide that did it. Carbide. That's how we used to call it. Carbide. Mr. Sugar One, he said, Oga, you get emotions. You that said you would die for your daughter. Yes, I would. No, I would kill for my daughter. Die for my son, not kill my daughter. I'll kill for your son. You don't confuse yourself. I'll die for my son. I'll kill for my daughter. Yes, straight up. That's not emotion. That's mafia. That's the mafia way. You think the mafias have emotion? Which emotion past that one? Women define emotions differently. My wife, go tell my wife so I get emotion. You don't know my husband. Oh, yeah, he said for the first time, Arsenal is playing the hardball on sales of Folari Balogun. Yes, now because we get players, so we can decide not to sell him and still keep him there. Worst case scenario, get tired, we send him on loan. His contract is still running. It's no big deal. And Nomieze Christian, he said, boss, I can understand why your wife thinks so, but truth is, you are grandma don't enter my life. What can I say on our own story? Leave me out of it. Marofoko, psychologically strong person. Your mental strength is almost cannot in bet. I remove my cap for you. No, I've gone through hell and I'm back, so it's just normal. Nayo Rims, he said racism. Money matter, racism not there. Let's not bring what is not there. It was difficult for the Bayern executive to come to terms with the fact that an African is the highest earner at the club. This is the way you just talk. So, do you know that there's no sense in it? Do you know the process it takes to sign a player? It takes about 6 months. So, in that period of running around, they first did not know he's an African player. They agreed on a contract. They still didn't know he's an African player. They brought him, they signed him, they did medical, they didn't know he's an African player. It was until he punched Sani. If he was scoring goals, if he goes were in their 30s or 20s, you think anybody will care whether he's an African? The thing about us is, once a black person is going through something, we first of all refuse to analyze. This guy came in with an expectation that he would make the exit of Lewandowski look, forgotten. But then he came in, and then they were at one point 10 points ahead of Dortmund, and then they were almost losing the title. And in the middle of dealing with all of that, you're punching your younger teammate. Come on, you're supposed to show leadership. You're supposed to have sense. If Sani don't get sense, you don't get sense. That's just the decision. It's got nothing to do with race. You know how many black players that are playing for Bayern Munich? There's Jamal Musiala. As I'm speaking to you, I know the amount of young players that Bayern have, and then I know how much work that Bayern is doing in Africa. So I don't understand where the racism is coming from. Let's not use race to color everything. It was a flop. That's just the truth. It was a flop. When Lucas Podolski came to Arsenal and Arsenal had to let him go, was it because of racism? It was a flop. Nicolas Pepe, Arsenal is letting go. Is it because of racism? It was a flop. So let's not sit here and bring racism. Black people want to use racism to cover everything. Mr. Sugar, I want to say sometimes I wonder how you have all these life experiences and still 45. Okay, that's life happens. Okay, Mr. Sugar One, I say, and even travel to 62. Don't make it 62 countries, if I'm not mistaken. Baba, you're too strong. It's not about strong, it's about opportunities. Traveling is not about strong, it's about just okay. So first of all, some people are planted like a rock. They're like a tree. They just stay in one place. I'm restless. I'm very, very restless. Like, okay, I hear this thing is happening in this place. I have the money. I'm going. Okay. If you have the money, you travel. Okay. Whether by road or by air, anywhere, I just go. Just to see. And then you know how Europe is. If you're in Europe, those people in Europe will tell you. The network to travel from one country to the other. I've met people who who have lived in Europe for, okay, so I have a friend who's lived in Italy for 15 years, and he's not been to France, he's not been to Belgium, he's not been to Switzerland. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to do that. That's not mine. That's not who I am. I'm in Italy. You don't even get Italian passport, meaning you can travel everywhere. If not for Brexit itself, you can enter England, and you're not traveling. Man. I'm obsessed with traveling anyway. So we're different kind of people. Like I'm obsessed with going to places, seeing places, going there. Okay, people are not going there. I want to go there. Like I like to go to Azerbaijan now, but I'm afraid of the laws that they are waka. I will go to Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Azerbaijan, all those places, Uzbekistan, all those star. All those places. I like to go to those places. Well, let's go to YouTube and read some of the plenty. Wow, messages plenty. For these small people waiting here, so now I got this message. Richard Hodson, say hi. How are you? I'm fine. He said, please, can you help me with rejection? What if it's racial, bias, system racism, and microaggression? But rejection is rejection. Whether it is racism, whether it is whatever it is, there's a rejection somewhere. The question is how you bounce back. So you can be rejected for every reason. People have been told before that they are too short. People have been told before that they are from a certain tribe. People's lost job because of their name, just because of their name. People's lost opportunities like that. So that rejection does not have one road that it comes from, Richard. So there is a whole lot that the rejection comes from. But where we're discussing this from is how do you deal with it? Okay, because I'm not going to be able to define and put a single line or hook to it and say rejection. This is the only way rejection comes. Rejection is not like menstruation. Okay, you know that menstruation is just one way, one pattern. I've never seen a woman menstruate through their mouth or through their nose or ear. It's just one route. You know where it comes from Jerusalem. You know what Jerusalem is. It comes from down below, down under Jerusalem. Now, there's no other way people menstruate. You have to say you put sanitary pad in your armpit, you're menstruating here. But rejection can be because of race, can be because of color, can be because of your skin. People have been rejected because they have pigmentation on their skin. People have been rejected because they speak in a certain kind of way. Toby Adequaju, for instance, will be able to tell you a story of how he was rejected because he had Yoruba accent in Nigeria. Like that's ridiculous. You are a Nigerian and then you're being rejected for having Yoruba accent. That you don't speak English like the British, and you are in Nigeria and you're rejected by Nigerians. Okay, for that. But then he bounced back, turned his life around, and became a star in league reporting. So you have to find a way. I mean, it's one of those things that happen. There's not a single way that people can be rejected, but let's see how it goes. Aroture Egos says Chief Elegwete, greetings from Tallahassee, Florida. Rejection is part of life's journey. I love that. The way you put it. It's part of life journey. I don't think that people understand that. It's not even possible for us to go through like this. Is there any some person out there who doesn't have a story of rejection? This is part of it. Okay, even if you come from a very nice, hunky-dory, lovely, sweet, adorable family, and you are blessed with the gift of having the best set of friends and everything, there's gonna be a girl or a man who will reject you. There's gonna be an offer that they will not give to you. There's going to be a contract, a bid, something. It's just something that you don't get. Okay, so there's rejection everywhere. And yeah, he said your mom, your stepfather, and everybody rejected you. Has anybody helped in life? Yes, a lot of people. Yes. Countless people. Like I always say that I started this show by talking about Rotary. I think everybody, many times I've said this thing that I'm the proverbial child that was raised by the community. Yeah, because when you look at it carefully, I've lived in the house of a pastor, I've lived in the house of strangers, I've stayed with different people, right? At different times of my life. So my transformation, my growth, evolve, living with different people, time to time, moving from one house to the other. These people are moving away from the state where we are in, and I'm going to school to ship me up to somebody else's house, like that. So it's not like we have like what they have in America, the foster parenting system. But you could practically say, like, I grew up with bits and bits and bits and bits and parts of foster parenting. But still great, okay? That's the most important thing about life, that there's always someone who would even pick the most rejected, the most ignored, the most abandoned of persons in life. So that's just the way it is. I would love to see your step siblings, if any of them is as gifted like you in sports talking. I think my mother's last born, okay, so doesn't have my experience. And then my younger brother, Emmanuel Yorokiri, doesn't also have my experience. But I'm going to be honest. If there is somebody who is better than me, it has to be our last born, Nero. Nero is fantastic, but I think he doesn't have my kind of experience, my exposure, and my travel. So my siblings, my younger siblings, are a sit in one place kind of people. So my mom, let me give you a very typical example of what I mean by that. And it's not a negative thing they say, it's that so everybody have their way. My mom put a law that nobody should drink cold water. Like no ice water. We had like 4 freezers and 2 fridge in the house. No cold water, nobody drinking cold water. But we're selling ice block. We're selling cold water to people. My mom has been dead since 2010, which is 13 years now this month, right? 13 years this month. By 21st of this month, it'll be 13 years that my mom had died. My younger ones still do not drink cold water at all. Okay, so when we were growing up, my mom forbid all our children from eating. Like mama put buka, you must go home, you must cook, right? I'm the only guy, like I'm really the black sheep of the family. But why wouldn't I be? Because I really didn't grow up under all of this. I'm here, there, and everywhere. I'm the only guy who eats. I eat. Mama put is good. As I say, it gives you typhoid for the diocese. Like I shop mama put everywhere. I know where every buka is. Every city I go to, I know where there's buka. My younger ones comes to stay in, like, with me in Lagos for 1 month. They cannot even say, okay, let me go and buy yakoyo rice and eat. They must cook for us. So that's the difference between us. We're the same mom, different father, but there's so much disparity between us. But talking about knowing sports, I grew up in a sport. I mean, I was a football player, right? And then I became a coach. Like my house is a football house. My house is the beehive of activities. Grew up with people like Roberta Carrier, Christian Obodo, Sam Soji, Ife Soji, all these guys coming in my house. We'll sit down and we'll play Scrabble, we'll play card, making noise. I have players, Aaron Mukoro, Chas and Michael went on to play on the 17th in 2003 with Mikel Obi. My house is a beehive of activities when it comes to football. And when you play football, that's just the way it is. And I pretty much started hustling pretty early. So I was the guy who had the most number of jerseys. I was the guy who had the most number of sneakers and boots. So people, even those who don't have, come to collect from me. So it's just that place where you say football is the core. Even my sisters know how to analyze football just as much as I do. My younger sisters, Ochuku, Happy, this guy. So if it's talking football, they're plenty. Richard Hutchinson said Galatasaray. Yeah, that's what just I'm wearing. It's gifted to me by Cars. I'm supposed to, sort some stuff for cars. But Jesus, people are charging me crazy for repair of my computers. Crazy. They don't know what I'm going through. Nasiri, my best friend. This is the first friend I made when I came to Lagos. So you're asking me about if anybody helped me. That's one of the guys. Nasiri, how far are you there? Die-hard Juventus man, die-hard. Again, another guy who's traveled around the world. That's why I'm sure you've done like 100 countries. Like if we're counting from Saudi Arabia to East Asia, North America, covering the whole of Europe, I'm sure you would have done 100 countries if I'm not mistaken. He said, I gained an admission to the university at the time my mates were rounding up. I gave up studying and concentrated on playing football. Can't believe that I've known you all these years and I don't know your football story. Unbelievably, I went from the field to the exam hall and I made it. Wow. I wrote to Rego, I said, Jam dealt with me, did it 5 times. Man, that's crazy. Some of us are just lucky. You don't write this exam and just pass, just go. Like, I used to say that someone like me just fail jam once and just say, go, hey, go let mechanic. Come on, no. So I was lucky. Oduni Rebeleka says 70 million for Paqueta. Are City not overpaying for the guy? Well, that's the price. They still reject the money, so they still reject 70 million. Overpaying when they reject the money. Gospel Mukamana Wari Semingo Bros. Now, this rejection thing make me stop football early. I went for this trial in Ghana and Benin Republic after confusing my mom and aunt to. I'm sure you wanted to say convince. Okay, allow me travel on both occasions. Okay. Didn't Rebecca say too much children? I don't understand what that means anymore. He said, Gospel Ebukomena. Now I want to say, getting to the camp on both occasions, the coaches would give me the assurance of signing, but on the last day, one man would just bring some players. We don't bring some players, then you will hear the coach say, I'm sorry, but we have to make way for this person because he knows the chairman. So we will have to drop some of you. Damn, I know that story, I know that story. On both occasions, I got dropped not because I wasn't good enough, but because no one took me by the hand or gave me a letter to visit the team. After Benin on, I came back and stopped going for trials. It could be very, very frustrating. Let's not lie. This thing that I'm smiling and laughing about, it could be very frustrating. So in my case, I don't have all of that shit. I just have like a very easy way in my football, very easy way from playing. Even when I want to become a coach, I just look at the team that was put together, and I said to the guy that Mr. Taj, I said, this team is good, but I can make them better. And they didn't listen to me. So I was coaching Misalo. And then Globestar senior team was doing excellently well, beating everybody, blue, black, and red. They had Itoare, Roberta Carrier, they have Rejection, they have Basil, they have everybody, Felix Edore, everybody. And then I put this team of street boys together and I beat them. The only defeat they suffered in like 3 years. And the man called me and said, come and take this job. I was hated for months for doing that. My friends became my enemies. My best friends, my best buddies became my enemies. Why would I beat them? Why? I was I was seen as, even in the neighborhood, people that saw me as public enemy number 1. Like, you're a hater, you're enemy of progress. You don't want to. I said, what? These guys have been winning for 3 years. I'm going to just set up a team and lay down and die. That no, even if they want to lose, they should lose to teams like MPA, Delta Star, all those big teams, a team that have gone to play in the FA Cup and got all the way to the quarterfinals. Why? How dare you? Who cares? That's your own cup of tea. Drink it. My own is not, I don't drink tea. Hey, I shut my mouth. So mind your business. But hey, that's how it is. I really didn't have this whole struggle that people have. That's why sometimes when people talk about, coaches must like you, I don't care about liking people. I just know that. And I think that rejection and the struggles in my early age made me form this attitude of, 1, never say that, 2, be the best at whatever it is you're doing. So when I put my head on something, the only thing that I have not known how to be the best is this YouTube. Like, every day I'm still thinking, I'm still cracking it. Like, how do I get to be the best YouTuber? I'm still in the I think this is going to be like the greatest challenge that I deal with. But I give you guys my word, I'll crack it very soon. I'll crack it very soon. And this Alafama say, Kane put himself in this mess. The guy will expire in the market soon by maybe mid-season. I think what I say next season also. By next season, it's huge risk. Bayern should call the bluff and leave the deal, Joe. Enter agreement with him to move next season. The funny thing is, I'm not sure Kane is willing to even enter that agreement. I think Kane have the Stockholm syndrome. I'm sorry, I don't have all the details. This is just assumption. I might be very, very stupidly wrong. So when you watch this, maybe later, but I just feel like Kane feels a certain level of allegiance and he listens to the media so much because the English media also are making it worse. They're saying that winning a Bundesliga trophy is not half as good as being the all-time highest goal scorer of the Premier League. Now, I'm asking this question. Do you guys rate Alan Shearer, even though he have one Premier League title? How many times do we have a conversation and say the all-time highest goal scorer of the English league is Alan Shearer? That's not a big deal. You have to win titles. You have to be great in that regard. And if you go to Bayern, you could be in the conversation for Ballon d'Or with all these many goals he's been scoring in England. Nobody's mentioned his name ever for Ballon d'Or. Because I'm looking at this like, brother man, are you okay? Maguire, touch his forehead. Is he hot or does he need dogoyaro or something? Kanda of mango tree, kanda, and maybe my parents will do those things. Scent leaf, lemongrass. Mango kanda, mango leaf, dry plantain leaf, boil lamb, use blanket, cover them so that his senses go come out. He brain need to walk away. There's something all right about Harry Kane. I don't know, but that's just the way I see it, okay? Odin Rebecca Sebaya would have just gone for that Benfica striker that went to PSG. That's also what I said at the early part of the season. As a matter of fact, I thought Arsenal would have gone for him. Gonzalo Goncalves, or whatever his name is. And DJ Lavoma say, rejection is not easy, especially as a business development manager. Unfortunately, it's a regular thing that is the only route to success. Yeah, rejection, the pain. In the pain, sometimes when you've thought everything through, like put everything together. Let me give you a good example. Last season, when they called me, I wasn't part of the conversation from the beginning. So when the league started and the first broadcasters went to go and do the Aqua United versus Benedict, and the team was a mess, then I called me like Calvary to come and save the thing, Salvation Army. And I went in and I laid out the cards and I said, listen, you guys are doing something wrong. Putting this league matches on NTA is wrong. Yes, DSTV would have been the best, but you don't have the fund, you don't have the relationship, the partnership to do it. So let's power the league on digital platform. Let's power it on YouTube and do a whole lot of short videos and put it on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. Just mesmerize the whole social media platform. Say, no, that's not it. Hey, there's government people, that have government interest, this one. Let's put it on it. You are paying NTA 4 to 6 million to put it on NTA. It's okay, no problem. Now your business. I'm just advising. They rejected it all. Fast forward to the end of the season. Now that's okay. That you will see what you've done. You've done well. Your ideas are brilliant. Come and market the league. I knew they were setting me up because it was going to be difficult, and I took it up. So the thing about me is, the more difficult it is, the more I want to try it. I have a crazy thing about me. What I've done bungee jumping and skydiving anymore. So I took it up, and then they were also doing their marketing. It wasn't like fair to them. It wasn't like they just left it to me. They were doing their marketing. And every door we knock and try to open, one constant thing kept happening. They say, your league is good, we know, but there's no digital footprint. And the NTA that you say you put it, go and convince us. Go and bring the analytics that show the number of people that view it. If you can show us 5 to 10 million cumulative views, then we would have a conversation. You went to NTA say, there's something, there's no track of people who watch them, or it's not possible to show. And I said, this is exactly what I said. That's 6 million every week that you were paying to NTA. If you had invested it in, say, you give Tunde Not, you give Leda KG, you give G Slava, you give all these guys to be powering the conversation around the league and pay some young boys 50K every match weekend, or 20K, say match weekend. Get a 20K, say just be on Twitter and be pushing the conversation of the league. You will not need this. People now will be coming to you. Unfortunately, we've wasted, it's not wasted anyway, but we invested 1.8 billion into last season, and there's no digital footprint to back it up. So this season now is going to start without sponsorship. Sometimes this rejection, it comes back again to make you just laugh and say, hey, I'm not telling them. I'm telling them, see, I'm not tiny. But you want to avoid that kind of situation because everybody will suffer. I just think that the only good thing that come out of it is the fact that, okay, people saw what I have done and that NFF have put me in their marketing committee. I hope I am able to put it. But I think that the NFL, the properties, the Super Eagles, the Falcons, they have a good brand. The Nations Cup is coming next year. We should be able to pull up something. It's not going to be easy, but we're a committee. I will have the best sports marketer in Africa in that committee. Honorable Lopade. So we just obviously might be able to do something. But right now, it's a case of bringing more money because the government is not going to support the national team. So we'll see. But rejection hurts. I agree with you, Angela. It hurts. So, then when I was trying to woo a lady, then and she rejected me, that one didn't pay me. I felt hard, but that was what I learned. Just know you are good. It's just that the next person does not know your worth. I don't think so. I don't. One of the things that never hurt me, and I've had it like a couple of times. I'm not like a six-pack, tall, fine, handsome. You don't put me in the conversation when handsome is the conversation. Okay. So I've had my fair share of very beautiful ladies. I can talk. Like I can. I mean, I love like an idiot. So, but I also know that just jumping to go toast a girl, she might not know me. So what I do is I tail spin a girl a lot. Like I mean, I target you like, okay, this is a girl that I want, I like. I seen everything that I like about her. I'm gonna tail spin around her so that she knows me. You know, subliminal marketing. I subliminally market myself intentionally, deliberately over a period of time. She now knows me. She's comfortable with me. When I now ask her that, you know, I want us to be an item, there's no rejection because in the early days when I had that big head, when I was called 10 people head, yay, every girl doesn't like me. That have a big head. Used to be like that, but that's not a problem. I think the only person I didn't taste spin was my wife. I saw her less than 2 hours. I asked her to marry me, and she laughed. I thought she was going to say no. She still ended up saying yes. It's funny. I think it was a couple of days ago. I was telling her, why did you even agree to marry me? I don't understand because I was even in my lowest end. Yes, Sani Kai says your top 5 life lessons from the Gambia. Okay, I've been to Gambia only once. I think Gambia, I love Gambia because of how easy the people are, nice people. But I think that there's a zero development is not fast, but I like fish. The fish in Gambia, I think Gambia have the best fish. I'm sorry for everyone that part of Africa, but I think Gambia have the best fish in Africa. Just the way I think that Cameroon have the best plantain sauce ever, best plantain, best sauce for rice ever in Africa. I think Gambia have the best fish in Africa, and I think they have very nice and friendly people as well in Gambia. They are very accommodating people. They, you know, worry nobody. They don't worry you. That's another good thing about the Gambia, and they feel quite a few. And yes, I would love to see and meet your siblings. My siblings, you know, so my siblings, I worry Benin and Port Harcourt and abroad. Okay, so when you say my siblings, I have siblings. My father had 57 children. My mother had 12, and then when I 8 because of the other ones that died. So when you say you want to meet my siblings, who do you really want to meet? You want to meet the entire estate, the entire community, or you want to meet just my mother's children? It's very, very important for us to know that. Okay. Additional for my, it said getting to the final stage of 2 interviews that would have given promotion and good pay, but rejected twice by people who knew I always deliver 110% anytime. Well, they missed, not me, man. That feeling. So again, let me say one thing. Playing football is a very dangerous thing. All my life, I've not written. I don't have a CV. I've not done a CV. I'm not gone for official interview. But when MTN came to Nigeria, I was in Lagos, and I heard about the MTN that time. You know, if you remember, in 2003, 2004, MTN used to take their staff and go and train them in South Africa. And some, they would take them, you know, they go on trips like that. MTN was really spending because they wanted to catch up with Body, Econet at the time. I don't know if some of you remember this. And I don't know, MTN was paying well compared to the competition. I went for an interview. An MTN interview. And I got to the stage where they were like, okay, they were applying me, blah, 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 blah. They started unpacking the package. And I asked the lady, Mrs. Sifonaya, I asked her, like, okay, so where am I going to have my training? I think she smelled around. And she said, Tamiyu Savage. There's a training center at Tamiyu Savage. If you see how pissed off I was, because the people before had been trained in South Africa. And then after they came back from South Africa, they went to India for 3 weeks. And then because I was following up this whole thing, my friend works there, Andy works with them. So I knew. And then Andy was like, "Oh, I'm going to Dubai." I was like, I want to be part of this. So I got there and she said Tamil Savage for 3 weeks, and then we'll go to the Ikeja office, and then we'll go to Arorami, like off Afrediwana, Kingsway Road, Arorami office, and then I don't know as a man, I know I work. I'm sorry. What's that? Now when it reach my turn now, I want to do Nigerian training. Other people that the train since let me abroad Nigerian training. And this one say he need Togoyaro. I tell you, Harry Kane need Togoyaro. Or don't you remember like I say no evidence? And this one say bring a businessman and facing rejections. Being a businessman facing rejection is another crazy thing in this job. Of all my life, apart from personal life, of all my work life, this job, now I don't face rejection pass. And the kind of rejection I face is okay. So it's crazy. When I first started, before I set up this company, this is how I went about it. I went to my friends who are like working in big companies, bank, different places, and I share my idea with them. Okay, so digital media is the future, podcasting, content creation. And you know me, if I'm passionate about something, I'm very animated when I'm talking. So I was explaining, I'll go to their office, book an official appointment, do my PowerPoint presentation, put my laptop, show them. And it's like, this is the future, content ownership, image right, this one. This is what we're going to do. We're going to start with media, and then eventually we'll go into sports brand management, and then we'll go and manage athletes. That's how the company will go from one company to a group of companies. And everybody like, you know the funny thing? Everybody, oh, great idea, fabulous. Okay, so what you need? Man, bros, I need your connection to be able to raise fund. I want to raise fund. I want to start this. And then like, oh, just tell me there and then, say, oh boy, now I'm money no do. Not be the way you see I don't get money. I don't feel happy. I don't know anybody. So, oh, great idea. Don't worry. I'd love to be part of it. And then I'll chip in a few of my friends. I start calling them. These are people who normally, and then they call me. I start calling them. They don't pick my call anymore. It's like, I did it like 50 people. It's like, hey, like I was still doing sports as in the hut. It's like putting it, I'm like, oh, I like this sports as in the hut. I went to my guy who owned a supermarket and owned a food shop, a food court. I was like, we can be shooting in your store, or we can be shooting and you supply us food that we advertise, but then you pay the production cost. You guys are great idea, fantastic, fabulous. Not everybody, so one day I just woke up like, you know what? And then I'm dealing with the people who sacked me, who felt like, okay, they sacked me, they took my car, I'm going to cripple, come back and beg. They will have meetings, and then my colleague who still work there will come and say, so teacher will say you will soon come and beg. So the worry boy in me, the proud, arrogant worry boy in me is like me, the son of Didi Talibia, will go and beg. Hey, okay, not for doing bad, or for doing the right thing, not breaking any rules, work 30 years honestly and diligently for these people. And I'm not begging no shit. I'm going to continue. So that part of me that wanted to go become Uber driver, that part of me that wanted to go be Uber driver, plus the frustration, sold my lands that I have, like, you know what, guys, let's build this shit. Let's go to war. And this is where we are without going to war, But it's crazy. Like, everybody turned their back. And then, the sad part, then you now hear from some people that this person said you are running a fool's errand. And it's just one of those things. And then again, in the middle, strangers, people just watch your content and say, I like what you're doing. Say your account number. Ario was the first person ever. Just call me one day, say, I like what you're doing for grassroots. How do you fund it? I said, my bros, I'm funding from my pocket. It's my money yet for now, but I don't know how long it will take me. And he said, send me your account. And he sent him 150K. It was shocking because I was scared, like 150K. How this guy call me, make a call to do some funny things for him. I started checking him out. Who the hell is Ario? Is it 419? I don't want my company to be attached to 419. And find out, great guy, football person. Okay. We became very good friends. And he was like, okay, I need footballer that you want to interview. Talk to me. If I don't know them, I know somebody who know them. I would hook you up. Ario is the greatest backer that I've ever had. And then Nasri Olaf, my guy, every time I run into hitch, hey, that's 100K, 50, 60, 20, like that. It was nice, eventually, but at the beginning, Ashiru Ibrahim, he says, I went for job interviews last year. I got the best score in 2 of them. I was rejected in the first because of experience, and the other one because I couldn't hear the boss clearly, who is Indian. Okay, that thing where you do Well, it's hard anyway. Communication is very key. So if you can't, Jerry Sampson say rejection, no evidence, you go explain tire. Yeah, that's just the truth. When people reject you, you can't even prove that you've been rejected. So you can't sue. You can't. You don't. I mean, they made their choice. That's just it. Well, guys, thank you very much for being on the show this morning. I'm very grateful for all your messages. I think we had a very good talk away from the normal football crazy train. Tomorrow, let's do it again. I need to go to school. I have students to teach, to mentor, and inspire. We'll be again tomorrow. My name is Daffy Matthews. So you love to come in and go to sports. We've had fun today. Let's do it again tomorrow. Do well to subscribe to our channel. And if you're not subscribed, if you're already subscribed, do well to refer us to your friends. Share our link on your status and on your social media, please. Let's have more people subscribe to this channel. One day when this channel is big and the numbers are great, we will not become the ones that are giving back for all that have been given to us, because a lot have been given to us: support, encouragement, push, motivation, and inspiration. Well, obviously, like they say, to whom much is given, much is expected. Until then, hasta la vista. Bye-bye. My name is Frank.